All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We spend so much time as parents stressing out, trying to set our kids up for success, right? We kind of just assume the ultimate safety net is handing them a massive trust fund. But the reality is actually pretty surprising. Every single baby is born with an asset that is far more valuable and honestly way more accessible than $1 million.
So, what exactly is it? Well, it definitely isn't a fancy stock portfolio or a fat bank account. The absolute greatest advantage a child has on day one is simply time. They have an entire lifetime ahead of them. And this right here is the single greatest investment advantage available to every newborn, totally regardless of their family's tax bracket.
To really wrap our heads around why this is so incredibly powerful, picture planting 2 oak trees. The first one, you put it right into the dirt this very afternoon. The second one, though, you just leave it stuck in a pot, sitting in a dark garage for 10 long years before you finally decide to put it in the soil.
Now, fast forward a full century. It's totally obvious which tree is going to be towering over the other, right? But here's the secret to the whole thing. It's not because the first tree had better soil or, superior genetics. It's taller simply because its roots had more time to dig deep. And guess what? Money works exactly the same way.
Which brings us to probably the biggest misconception out there. It's this lie that so many parents believe, that you absolutely need a huge salary to start investing for your kids. I mean, sure, earning more helps, absolutely. But we've all seen high earners go completely broke right alongside ordinary, everyday people who somehow built these massive, quiet fortunes. Why does that happen? Because wealth isn't just about the size of the seed you plant, it's entirely about when you plant it.
Let's actually put some numbers to this to see the contrast. Say parent A starts investing at their child's birth with just $100 a month. Not a ton, right? Meanwhile, parent B waits 25 years but then throws vastly more cash at the market every single month trying to catch up. Logic kind of tells us parent B should win, but because of the relentless, unstoppable math of early growth, the early starter doesn't just compete, they usually completely eclipse the late bloomer. Let's pivot for a second and think about 2 equally talented kids, Emma and Sophia. They've got the exact same intelligence, the same great teachers, and they practice the exact same amount. Literally the only difference? Emma touches a piano for the very first time at age 5, while Sophia waits until she's 15. So, by the time they hit age 25, who's the better player? It's Emma, for sure. But not because she's some sort of prodigy, it's because she had 10 extra years of compounding experience. 10 whole years to make mistakes, course correct, and really lock in that muscle memory. Well, just like building muscle memory, your dollars absolutely need time to practice in the market. They need a really long runway to absorb those difficult years, recover from them, and then fully capitalize on the great years. Every single extra year you give your investments essentially acts as a shock absorber against all that crazy market volatility. We all know the engine behind this whole process: compound growth. It's the simple act of investing money to earn a return, and then, this is key, leaving that return invested so it can earn its own return. You probably already know the basic math, but when you apply it to a newborn's 80-year time horizon, the standard math essentially just breaks and becomes something almost magical. It's basically the ultimate chain reaction. Step 1, you plant a single apple seed. Step 2, that grows into a tree that produces apples. Step 3, those apples hold even more seeds. And step 4, those seeds produce more trees until you've eventually created a massive, self-sustaining orchard. You trigger one tiny action today, and the system literally creates its own future opportunities.
It's practically a legal requirement in finance to mention that Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Now, historians definitely debate if he actually said it, but honestly, the mathematical reality of money expanding exponentially over an entire lifetime truly is a wonder to witness.
But here is exactly where our human psychology tends to fail us. It's the snowball effect. Like a tiny snowflake rolling down a massive hill, your investments are going to feel agonizingly, painfully slow in those first few years. You'll look at the account balance and think, why am I even bothering? And hey, that frustration is completely normal. But if you just don't interrupt it, that little snowflake eventually turns into an absolute, unstoppable avalanche.
And this brings us to the biggest trap of all: waiting for the perfect time. People stop contributing because they think $50 feels useless, or they wait for that elusive, magical day when all the bills are paid and life finally calms down. But let's be real, life is always busy. Waiting for ideal conditions just means you're surrendering the one single advantage you can never ever buy back: time.
So let's recap the playbook from this explainer, because it's actually incredibly simple. First, time is absolutely your greatest asset. Second, building the muscle memory of a consistent habit matters vastly more than waiting around for a massive sum to invest. And lastly, compounding takes serious patience. You just have to let the snowball roll without interrupting it.
So start today. Build that discipline right now, even if it is literally just $25 a month. A family that builds a solid foundation on $25, slowly bumping it up over time, is doing something infinitely more powerful than a family just waiting around on the sidelines hoping for a lottery ticket.
Look, we can't guarantee our children a life totally free of struggle, or perfectly lined up opportunities, or some million-dollar inheritance. But you can give them the ultimate, irreversible gift of time. The absolute greatest legacy isn't what you hand them when they're 50 years old, it's the head start you build for them today. The clock is already ticking right now, so what will you do with it?